Okay, YouTubers, I just wanted to do this video right here on how to remove a real rusty nut and bolt without stripping it or um, ruining it or snapping it or whatever. Here, just to give you the example of what I'm trying to do, is this piece right here. You can see how well rusted it is. It's some feet for a wood stove, and I'll move to the other side. It's basically it's the same thing, but anyways, put this monster crescent wrench on it like so, and as you can see, I can't budge it. I'll move to the other side and I'll show you the same thing. Okay, same thing with it. I can't budge it. It won't move. Okay, now what I'm going to do is quite remarkable. I learned this a long time ago. It was a hand-me-down type of a deal of a friend of mine's grandfather. And I've used this throughout my whole automotive career on how to get studs out of like exhaust manifolds or heads or whatever. Providing that the electrolysis hasn't got at the point where it's rusted it up so bad to where your metals actually almost become one or almost fused together in a sense, or the nuts or bolts have been previously stripped and then rusted. Just this is mainly pertaining to a rusted bolt. Anyways, let me give you kind of the rundown what it is. What you do is you heat it with a torch. You get both surfaces as hot as you possibly can, or I can't say as hot as you can, but get it really nice and hot. I usually kind of like to get it just at the point where it's just about starting to glow, but not quite. And then what you do is you take just a normal candle, even a birthday candle will work. Then what you do is you lay it down onto the threads, and with the expansion of the steel between the nut and the bolt, the wax, what it does is it runs in between the threads, and then what you do is you let it cool to the touch, and it'll break loose extremely easy. Now I'm going to need two hands here so I can strike the torch. So I'm going to set this here just for a minute while I do that. I may have to edit some of the stuff out, I don't know yet. But anyways, okay, we're going to fire up the torch. Kind of work doing this stuff by yourself, manning the camera and the torch at the same time. It's kind of rough, but anyways, as you can see, I got the oxyacetylene torch heated up. I better get this out of the way, otherwise I'll melt it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I don't know what its problem was with the camera, but anyways, we're going to get this thing up to heat temp. I was going to go ahead and do both sides at the same time, but I'll just do the one side for right now. It's going to take a little bit to kind of get this thing warmed up. I think I'll turn the heat up a little bit. I really should have a rosebud, but my rosebud, it's shot, so I'm just using a number 2 welding tech. It'll get hot enough. Is this now starting to get to where it's starting to change color? So now I'm going to work on the threads a little bit right in this area. Try to get as hot as I can. Or not as hot as I can, but get it up to temp in other words. I don't know how far in that this bolt's going into this nut, but what I think I will do is I'll heat it up from this direction here so the whole thing gets nice and hot. Okay, this really, it should be more than hot enough. Okay, I'm going to shut the torch off. Okay, now, next thing that I usually do is I'll take it and kind of hit it with a wire brush, knock off some of whatever debris might be on it, just to help it. Okay, now take your candle wax, and what you want to do is you just want to melt it where it'll run itself right down in between the threads into the nut. And yeah, it smells like somebody's having a birthday party. But anyways, you'll get a lot of smoke off it. That's normal. Sometimes they'll even flame up a little bit, but pretty much see what's taking place here if you look real close, how it's melting itself. And it's just basically, it's running in between the two surfaces where the threads are. It's probably got to be the best penetrating oil that you'll ever use in your life. Okay, it looks like I got a pretty good amount in there. Now what I need to do is I'm going to shut off the camera for a little bit so this thing totally cools to the touch. And then when I come back, in theory, as long as it's not stripped, it should back itself right out with no problem. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks. Okay, guys, I'm back. It is cool now to the touch. In the meantime, while I was waiting for it to cool, in the beginning I heated this one up and I went ahead and did this side as well. It's also cool. Generally takes about maybe 10 or 15 minutes for it to cool down. Okay, let's see if we're successful. Look at that. Look at that. Hard to man the camera and the wrench at the same time. Let's see what's usually opening on it. Look at that. Came out of there just like butter. Just like it's supposed to. Okay, I'll walk over and do the other side here. As you can see, there's no muffed up threads or anything, so it came right out. And you can see where the wax went. Okay. Let's see if we can break loose this side. Well, maybe this side didn't. Yeah, it's moving. I may have to redo it. Sometimes you have to hit them a second time. Well, there it goes. The wrench would quit slipping on it. I get a bite on it. There we go. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do with this side, I'll have to give it a treatment one more time, and then do the same thing, and it'll come right out. Sometimes you have to, just depending upon how rusted up it is. Evidently, this side's a little bit more rusted. But I did manage to free it up, so I will go ahead and heat it and do the same thing over again. And then I'll take the video of me taking it out. Okay, all right, bye. Okay, back to this thing here. It's all nice and cooled down after I treated it again. Looks like it's freed it up a lot, so I should be able to get it off. If I can do this one-handed. Yeah, it's coming out. There we go. See, I've had this wax trick save my bacon I don't know how many times throughout the years. It works really well. So there you have it, folks. In the event if you ever have a nut and a bolt that's in there rusted and been out in the weather for a really long time, that's one of the easier ways to take it out. Okay. With that all done and said, that should do it. This presentation is brought to you by DecorativeIronPlus.com.